In the sacred woods of Himavat, where the Himalayan foothills kiss the sky, the villagers of Rudraksha whisper an old warning. If you ever hear the white wolf howl 3 times on a rainy night, light a fire and pray, for it is the cry of a soul who died for love. Few still believe it, but in the village of Vanapura, people still leave white lotus flowers at the edge of the forbidden forest every autumn. No one explains, no one asks. It's simply what's always been done, passed down through generations. And then, one autumn night, the howling returned, for the first time in 20 years. 20 years ago, along a snow-covered trail that wound through the ancient Satya forest, 2 newborns were left beside the Kalanadi River. No one knew their parents. All they had were a silver bracelet engraved with the name Anaya and a damp cloth embroidered with the Rudraksha tribal crest. Thunder shattered the skies. Wind howled like it carried the voice of a spirit in pain. No one dared to leave their homes, except one creature. From the mist emerged a pure white she-wolf, her fur glowing like snow under moonlight. She didn't growl. She didn't bite. She simply walked toward the crying babies, lay beside them, and wrapped her body around them for warmth. By dawn, the storm had passed, and the wolf had vanished, taking the children with her. They would not be seen again for many, many years. But that wolf, the villagers would later call her Chandrika, moonlight. And she was no ordinary wolf. The wolf named Chandrika raised the twins deep in the forest, far from the human world. The boy was named Arjun, the girl Anaya. They never learned spoken language, but they spoke through glances, touches, whistles, and silence. Chandrika, though voiceless, taught them everything. She showed Arjun how to track animals, how to set snares with forest vines. She taught Anaya to recognize poisonous herbs by smell and how to feel danger in the wind. She led them to safe rivers to drink from, warm caves to sleep in. And when they were sick, she licked their wounds, stayed up all night beside them. They thought she was their whole world. And in a way, she was. But in Anaya's dreams, a woman would appear, a woman with long hair, reaching for her in tears. And in Arjun's heart, a quiet longing had begun to grow. One winter day, Anaya found a silver bracelet in the roots of an old tree. On it was carved a strange name, Yashira. And soon after, Arjun discovered a small wooden statue beneath a stone, carved in the likeness of Anaya. The questions came like a flood. Who were they? Where had they come from? That night, Arjun looked into Chandrika's golden eyes and asked, not with words, but with silence, "Who are we?" Chandrika turned away. The next morning, they crossed Kalanadi, the river she had always forbidden them from approaching. And beyond the river, they found ruins, a half-burned wooden house, and inside, an old, rotting journal. The journal was written by someone named Yashira. "I am Yashira. I am your mother. When I carried you in my womb, the village cursed me for loving a man from beyond the forest. They called you cursed children. I begged the forest spirits to spare your lives. I gave them my blood at Kalanadi. They agreed, but only under one condition. I would never see you again, and you would be raised by the guardian of the curse, Chandrika. She was once my friend. She chose to become the wolf to save you. And I became a ghost in your lives." The journal ended there. Arjun and Anaya sat in silence. Chandrika had not just loved them, she had sacrificed her humanity to protect them. When they returned to the river, Chandrika was waiting. She didn't growl, she didn't attack. She only looked at them, and something in her eyes said, "You know now." Anaya stepped forward and embraced her. Chandrika nuzzled her gently, then turned and disappeared into the woods. That night she did not return, and the curse began to stir. Anaya became feverish. Her eyes glowed gold. At night, she clawed at trees. She howled in her sleep. And then, one night, she changed. Her back arched, her fingers turned to claws. She fell to her knees and screamed, but the scream was no longer human. Arjun held her tightly, whispering her name over and over. "Anaya, come back." She looked at him, eyes wild, yellow, then collapsed. The curse was no longer sleeping. It had found its vessel. Arjun searched for Chandrika. He returned to their cave, but she was gone. Only ashes remained, and carved into the stone floor, a broken circle. Chandrika had sacrificed her final strength to hold back the curse one last time, but now there was no one left to stop it. Anaya vanished into the forest. Days passed, then weeks. Each full moon, villagers said they saw a white figure at the edge of the cliffs, howling toward the sky like a soul in mourning. Arjun built a small hut at the edge of the forest. He carved her name into the trees. He wrote their story on wood with charcoal. He spoke to no one. He waited. And every year, on the night of Chandrika's death, he lit a white candle and whispered, "Thank you for loving us, even in silence." Years passed. One night, in the rain, Arjun saw her. A white figure, thin, eyes glowing in the dark. He did not run. He did not speak. He just looked at her. And for a brief moment, she looked back. Anaya, or what was left of her, she turned and disappeared into the trees. He never saw her again. They had searched for the truth and found it. But truth has a price. Chandrika had lived in silence for 17 years, protecting them from a curse they could never understand. In the end, she gave her life for them, and when Anaya vanished, Arjun remained, not to forget, but to remember. Not all mothers are born human, and not all wolves are born to kill. If this story touched your heart, if you believe in love that lives beyond form, beyond words, then please, subscribe to our channel. We tell real emotional stories like this every week, stories that remind us of what it means to be loved. This is Love, Nature, and Animals. Thank you for remembering Chandrika.